The sponsor of today's interview is College Soccer's Next. College Soccer's Next is the #1 college soccer recruiting service focused on helping aspiring prospective student athletes achieve their dreams of playing college soccer. Some of the services that they're able to provide, I got to read them off the list, include a college soccer mentor who's gone through the recruiting process firsthand, a strength and conditioning coach, a sports nutrition coach, a professional highlight video editor, as well as a personal evaluation and strategic proven plan of action, as well as much, much more to make your dreams of playing college soccer turn into a reality. Book your free consultation call today down in the description at collegesoccersnext.com. Take your first steps at earning your college soccer scholarship today. Enjoy the episode, folks.
So welcome back to KickABallPod, and I'm sitting here with a very special guest, one that we've been anticipating, and he's been seen on our Instagram before, and that's Andrew Portis from Cal State LA men's soccer team, captain of the team there. And Andrew, it's just great to have you on the pod.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. And honestly, how I like to start my interviews, honestly, I like that as us as soccer players, you can relate to obviously pro soccer. So I always like asking players what kind of player are you? And obviously you can kind of use like pros, because I think we all try to base our game, or we have the people that we look up to that play our position. What kind of soccer player would you say you are?
Yeah, I would say, well, I'm a center back, so I think about like players that are like similar height, kind of a little bit in like weight. So I would say probably like obviously Van Dijk's the best center back in the game, so I always look up to him. And then like De Ligt on Man United he's one of my favorites. But yeah, a lot of good center backs out there for real.
No, absolutely, yeah. Two big players from the Netherlands there. I think Van Dijk's probably my favorite player as well, or favorite center back as well. He's just class in all areas of the game, to be honest. And you can't really keep up with that. And yeah, no, exactly. And I was gonna mention that. And it's funny that you mentioned I was gonna mention your frame and size, because as soccer players, it's not that we're not known to be the biggest, but I mean, you have a size of 6'4", 195 pounds. Like you are a big guy. And obviously we as soccer players, we're in this modern era where you want to you play with the ball at your feet, and obviously it's important. And how much have you would say you've grown your soccer game in terms of having that big physical stature that obviously as you grow into it is not something you always have, and obviously playing with the ball at your feet and having your technical ability as well?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my first year coming in for college soccer, I learned so much. We won the national championship my first year at Cal State LA, so that just kind of set up. And the center back at the time got Player of the Year like in D2, so that was like my who I looked up to like try to emulate what he did, and try to get like All-American, try to be successful. And just being on this program honestly is they turn good defenders into great defenders by the details that we focus on in box defending, and like hips on clearances, just like the details I never even thought of before. Coming to this program, it's been great to learn all those things.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, those are highly important things. And I was gonna say, now that you're mentioning that, is that a part of the game that you knew before going in, and like, is it something that you appreciate now? Because I guess we've all been through soccer careers. You know, those people that just kind of like, no, I just know how to do this. I don't need to really be taught more minor details. And it sounds like definitely you are someone that appreciates that.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I would say just looking at, because we all watch pro soccer games, and a lot of those goals are scored on set pieces or missed clearances or something. So I would say coming to Cal State LA, like in particular, has been it's helped me out so much in like box defending and clearing and tracking runners, and just little details I never even thought of too much before. So yeah, but otherwise. Yeah, the team's doing good. We're getting ready for playoffs this upcoming Sunday against the only team that's beat us this whole year. So we're excited for that one. We got it at home. So
absolutely, and I'm gonna go back in your journey before we get to that part, but that is 100% a part that we'll come back to. But I want to start from even your high school days. You were a multi-sport athlete, just someone that could get around, and yeah, you played soccer, football, volleyball, sports that require different parts of athletics and athleticism. Just speak to me about that. You're growing up with sports, the different sports you played, and then eventually when you realized soccer was the sport that you were aspiring to take farther.
Yeah. Yeah, growing up it was a household that always encouraged, playing multiple sports. So basketball, volleyball, football, even and soccer were all on the list. But for me it kind of came down to in other sports, like I would play basketball and I'd be at my height now, like 6'4", and I'd be like a point guard in basketball. So switching over to soccer was really nice to be like, oh shoot, now you're like the biggest guy on the field or one of the biggest. So and then just the love of the game. I've always loved soccer. I've been playing it since I was 4 years old. So just yeah, soccer is the best, my favorite sport by far.
Yeah, absolutely. I was the flip side, so I would play basketball when I was younger, and then I got to be like just about 6 foot five. I'm 5'11", 6 foot. Different people tell me different things, and different doctors have said different things. I'll take 6 foot, but yeah, then I went from being like tallest when I was younger playing basketball to then I wouldn't even really get on a basketball team. You got to be like 6'3" minimum, as you were saying, like 6'4". So that's crazy. But yeah, and I even wanted to touch on the fact that yeah, through your Instagram, you can see that you have a family and a big support behind you. And yeah, how have they played into, obviously you're saying sports, and then also just like being there to motivate you and be behind you as you go through your sports career?
Yeah, I mean, just having support from your family and friends is, and coaches also is amazing. It helps you grow. So, yeah, I'm grateful for the support I have, um, and yeah, excited for the things to come ahead.
Absolutely. And yeah, now I kind of do want to speak to you about your journey at Cal State, because it's not just a smooth one, or it's not just you're simple, you go in and immediately play. There's obviously different factors that happen, and that first year you arrived there was COVID, and obviously the team didn't really compete at all, and a bunch of teams didn't compete, and then you obviously worked, and there was another year, and then you finally got on the field, and in that 2022 season. And you even mentioned that season where Cal State won that D2 national title. um just Now I just want to talk, like, you're now referenced as they got one of those guys on the team, or the guy on the team, and that special player. Just talk to me about that journey coming in through your freshman year, and how each year has gone, and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great. It's great to even think about that. I never think about like my 2022 season. It was very difficult. I had a torn meniscus, so I was out the whole season. But honestly, I think out of all 4 years, I almost feel like I learned the most in that year, because just the things off the field and studying the game, studying, players, like just like what I said earlier, the top center back and was playing my position, and he was the best player in the nation. So it's just like just learning all that. I knew like, okay, I could have this plan to follow these details to be an All American, and then now being here at this time, it's all the hard work's paid off to this point. So yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I even want to double down and talk about it even more, because you said you've mentioned that winning that D2 title was the most exciting moment in your sports career so far. But how does it feel, as in, I want to use the term, as a grass green on the other side? I would obviously understand that would be a lot of people's most exciting moment. But now being on the field for just about every game, being a captain of the team, being someone that's looked up to, being someone that the team that is integral to the team, how does it feel to, yes, you may have not reached the height of another national title, but you being so important to the team and playing um, week in and week out? How important, and how does that feel, and differ to maybe not being a part of winning the D2 title as much, but being there, but now being as important to still a great team?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, being out that year, we won the national championship. Now being in the playoffs again this year in my senior year, and now I'm the captain of the team. I want to do the best I can to get back in that position to win another national championship, and really just the love I have for playing for this college, the last couple years is I just I want to bring back another national championship to the program.
No, absolutely. And I just want for everybody to understand, I want to read off some of the awards you collected. So in that 2022 season, you were in all CCAA honorable mention. You played 19 out of 20 games. You were second on the team of minutes played. You had 1 goal and 1 assist. And then the next year in that 2023 season, you were first team all CCAA. You were in the CCA all tournament team, third in All America. And again, another goal and another assist. Actually, funny point, I'm going to start before I even start on something else. You scored a lot of goals and got a decent amount of assists as a defender. I want to talk to you about your goal prowess and how you put yourself in positions to score a lot of goals. Because as me as a defender, I played right back and center back through most of my career, and I wish I could be saying I'm leaving college with a goal and assist record that you got. But just talk to me about how you put yourself in positions to score goals for your team.
Yeah, honestly, it comes down to instinct and just being a dog. Like I think a lot of times when the ball is sprayed into the box and there's just a mix of chaos and all this stuff, I think sometimes you just gotta run into it, and then sometimes it rewards you. So I don't know. I just feel like it's just hungry. You got to be hungry to score goals, and then it helps. I feel like that's it. But otherwise, I mean, I'm just a center back. I'm not a scorer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, and it's yes, you are just a center back, but you are I mean, that goal that you are a goal threat for your team, and that's important. I'll say that I just laid back on the fact that I was like the fastest on the team, so I was for corner kicks and everything. I was put at the halfway line and waited till the other team wanted to go the other way. But yeah, I wasn't getting on the end of anything. I could, but I was I'll take my time and be in the back. But now heading into now you're in this year so far. I mean, I can't even mention all the tremendous things you have done, and obviously we'll get to that. But I just want to speak about your team. I want you to just speak about your team. I mean, your team is you guys were ranked number 7 in the nation, number 1 in your region. Talk to me about some of the other players in your team, some of the things that your coaching staff has worked with the entire team on, and what makes you guys such a great program and one that's been great for a number of years now.
Yeah, yeah. So I would say Cal State LA, coming into Cal State LA, the program is known always year in, year out, one of the top in defense for the division. I would say that the principles that the coaches teach and the players that they recruit are always, focused on 1v1 defending, and they all have to be equipped with the details that Cal State LA requires, which is, the whole team is defending. The whole team helps defend, and so then we can break out and keep it and do our thing. But yeah, I mean, it's great. What else?
Um, there's I want to speak to more about like, yeah, if you, I want to, I'm trying to think about, there's two things I want to ask you about, and I can obviously, I have the time to ask you both. So I want to speak about tactically, I think some of the things that you hear from different colleges and you hear from other programs that definitely are not competing at the same level as you guys. And other is maybe there's not always a set way of tactics and a set way of culture. And I think those two things are important. And I believe that's something that must be really good at your team so that you guys are consistently at the same level. Speak to me first about, obviously you mentioned some of the minor things, but what would you say are the things that you are a staple in where your coaches want you guys, they want you to play, either going the offensive way, the defensive way? You obviously said everybody has to be involved in defending, which is a must in this day and age, but just speak to me about some staples in your guys' tactics.
Yeah. So obviously with the whole team being very strong defensively, but offensively we have a lot of freedom to create. There's no One of the things we don't like to do is have set piece patterns or patterns of play. A lot of programs have like certain ways they want to play, but Cal State LA, they leave it up to the players to decide and to have the freedom to find pockets and make little runs to open space. But yeah, I would say the biggest thing that makes Cal State LA such a big program that's so successful year in year out is the fact that the team is so deep. Honestly, we sub. It feels like 2 to 3 times more than other teams, and we can keep the same level. So I would say that's one of the biggest things.
And yeah, and so with that many guys coming off the bench and providing that boost to the team, obviously on any team you're gonna have um big fights, and not big fights, big competition for positions, and everybody wants to play. We all went to college to play. No one just came because said like, I hope I sit on the bench for all 4 years. So obviously, what is it? And I think what offsets that competition and fierceness is having a good team chemistry and knowing that we're going to war, but I'm going to war with guys I love, and I'm going to war with them in practice to make them better and make myself better. How would you say the team chemistry and that fierceness to play and raise a level is at that Cal State LA team?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the culture. Is we work so hard, and we're always competing so much against each other week in week out of practice. But even the reality of going into playoffs, certain starting positions aren't even secured because everything comes down. If you have a bad training, you could maybe lose a spot. So we try to keep it as competitive as we can, and I think that really is a testament to why this program achieves so much too.
That's yeah, makes I mean that makes total sense. Makes total sense. Um, I want to talk about so obviously I said congrats to you. So you guys are going to the NCAA Division II tournament, obviously, and you have that you got that first round bye, but you're going to be facing um Cal State Dom Hills in that second round. And as you mentioned already, that is a team that beat you and knocked you guys out of that CCAA tournament on the way to that chip. That game finished 1-0. It was only a couple of weeks ago. Now heading into this game on Sunday, um, how are you guys feeling? How are you guys getting prepared? I mean, I know, and I can almost see it as the way you're like smiling, as the way I'm talking about it, that you guys have a chip on your shoulder, and it's definitely one you want to get back. To speak to me about your feelings surrounding this upcoming game.
Excited. We're so excited to get another chance to play them, and it's going to be a very scrappy and tough game on Sunday. But the whoever wins is the better team, and I think we'll be able to close the chapter after that game.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, Dominguez Hills, they're the only team that's beat us this year. Very solid team, but we're so excited to play them this Sunday. So
Yeah. And just speak to me about that first game and you guys losing to them. Like what went wrong? Me as a soccer player, you can always respect, and you just gave them a decent amount of respect. What did they do right, and the things that they did that hurt you guys? And was it a case of they were the better team on the day, or was it a case of you guys kind of made mistakes that probably held yourself back on that day, and you couldn't get the win?
yeah, I mean, we always got to give credit to Dominguez Hills. They played well when they played against us, but on the other side, we also feel like we didn't really play up to our standard. So I think just in general, getting another chance to play them again, it's just we're grateful. We're super excited. It's going to be a statement game. So yeah, we'll be excited. Everyone's got to tune in for that for sure.
No, absolutely, absolutely. We will all be watching, and I'm even gonna go back and name a couple more stats for you. And this is from this year. So you have 19 games played. You have 4 goals, 3 assists, and you lead the team in minutes, and you're third in the league and first on your team. So all 4 goals that you scored are winning goals for your team, and they have won your team games. Um, we already spoke about your goal prowess and your threat, but in terms of like those goals being game-winning goals, how important have these goals been for you this season, and obviously for your team, but just for you and your team this season?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's great to be put in a position to get those goals. But I mean, it's all about the team. I'm so happy for the team that we could pull off those scrappy wins that we got, and then we move on to the next. but yeah, I would just say, yeah, I'm just grateful for my teammates for putting me in the positions to score.
No, absolutely. And one thing we focus on at Kickaball is we obviously love the tiers of soccer within the country and going from the MLS and working our way down through the USL levels. And obviously on the other side of that, there's college when throughout the year for a lot of these talented players throughout the country. And you are obviously included in that. And you play for Redlands Football Club and they were able to capture that 2023 Southwest Division Championship. Um, and that's a very good USL2 side. Just speak to me about your time with them, playing for them, and how it is playing at that USL2 level.
Yeah, yeah, playing at that level was great to see a lot of different D1 players playing on high level teams. So it was great exposure. And but yeah, Redlands was a great team to play on. The coaching staff, the players, everyone was really high level. So I was really grateful to play with them this summer.
Absolutely. And then I just want to speak to you about what are your aspirations. Obviously, I just want you to speak to me about how your future looks. Whether that's obviously I want to speak soccer, but at the same time, just for your life in general. But obviously, yeah, going forward with soccer and your dreams and aspirations in the sport, what is it that you want to see from yourself and what do you want to achieve?
Yeah. I want to see if I can pursue this professionally first, and yeah, we'll see where that goes. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Yeah, Andrew. I mean, I've touched every base. I mean, I think everybody can understand how good of a player you are and the level you guys are at with that Cal State team. And honestly, I just hope you keep on producing and being the great player you are. And I personally hope you guys go on and beat this and beat that the Dom beat the Dom beat St. Dom Hills again, so you guys can continue that tournament and achieve your dream and bring the Cal State LA another national title. Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
so
yeah.
much. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully we'll get it done. So
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm here for it, and I'll definitely be watching, and we'll all be watching. So I appreciate it.
appreciate it, Malcolm. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, see you.
See ya.